Hi and welcome to Swedish Plantguys. Is it possible to take your indoor tropical plants and move them outside in summer or spring? Well, the quick answer is yes. It will actually help them to grow better and faster and also get healthier. But if you want to know exactly what to do to make your plants thrive outdoors, keep watching. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Well, isn't all plants made to be placed outdoors? Well, yes, but they are for a specific type of climate and specific conditions for that type of species. That can mean that it's probably not the best conditions where you live for that plant. However, you can compensate for that. But there are considerations to be made. Number one is temperature. Most plants actually need to have at least 15 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit as a minimum during the day. And mostly that minimum is somewhere during the night. So when you see that the night temperatures are above 15 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit, it can be a perfect time to start moving your plants outside. Number two is light. And you need to know that when you place your plant outside, even if you place it in a shady spot, it will be brighter than the brightest spot you have indoors. Even if it's not getting direct sunlight, it will be brighter. And this can be a stress for the plant. So we need to do something called hardening off. That means that the plant needs to acclimate to that bright spot outdoors. And there is two options of how to do this. Number one is that if you know that your plant is going to be standing somewhere where it gets direct sunlight, not all day perhaps, but a couple of hours a day, then it needs to get used to that direct sunlight. Otherwise, it will get burnt. For instance, I have a Strelitzia Nicolai here, and this is a plant that loves light. It loves direct sunlight. However, when placed outside in direct sunlight, what happened is that this plant got burnt. Some of the leaves are completely dead. Some of the leaves just have been scorched by the sun. And this happened because it needed to get used to all that direct sunlight. Now this one didn't do that. It actually got burnt instead. And this is how you do it correctly. For a period of 1 to 2 weeks, if you take the plant, place it outside for 1 or 2 hours, then move it inside again, leaving it with just a little bit of that direct sunlight. And then doing it the same thing again the next day, and so on. And trying to build upon the length it has with that direct sunlight. Then over a period of 1 or 2 weeks, it will actually get used to it. Like I said, the Strelitzia Nicolai loves direct sunlight, but it needs to harden off. So by doing that slowly, it can actually withstand a lot of direct sunlight. Now, option number two is if you know that you're going to place your plant somewhere where it's not going to get direct sunlight, meaning it's going to get a lot of shade instead, then you can place it outdoors directly. However, you need to pay attention because, as I said before, it is brighter in that shady spot than it is indoors. So it can get a little bit stressed and probably will start to drink a little bit more water because of all of that light. So you need to pay attention. And if you see that the plant is not feeling well, it's not handling that outdoor placement, move it indoors again, and then you try to acclimate it to that spot. Number three is rain. Now, depending on where you live in the world, and we are in the southern parts of Sweden where we get a lot of rain, both in spring and in summertime. That can mean that the plant is actually going to get quite a lot of rain and perhaps too much water. So first of all, when you place your plants outdoors, make sure that it's not like this, like you have indoors, meaning you have an outer pot that is completely closed. Because when it rains, this container, this outer container, is going to fill up with water, and eventually that could kill your plant. But even if you place it like this, with drainage holes in the bottom of the pot, meaning when it rains, the excess water will go out from the bottom of the pot. Even then, it could be too much water for your indoor tropical plant, meaning that the soil will be moist or wet for very long periods of time. And most indoor tropical plants needs to dry up a little bit at least in between watering. If you know that you are somewhere in the world where it rains a lot, then you need to place your plant where it's covered instead. Meaning that you decide when it gets water and when it doesn't. However, if you live somewhere where it rains a little bit, you could try and place it in the rain and take a look at the plant now and then to see if it's thriving or not. If you see that it is extremely wet or moist at all time, it's starting to droop, it's showing you that it's getting too much water, move it somewhere where it's covered instead. However, it could actually work, and you have another advantage. If the rain can hit the leaves of your plant, that actually helps you to resist pests, because pests hate the rain. So it can actually help your plant to withstand pests. Number 4 is wind. Now, when we place our plants outside, we get wind. We don't have that indoors. Well, we have drafts, which is almost the same, but not quite. So first of all, what wind can do is that it can, of course, knock your plant down to the side like this. So when it gets really, really windy, it falls down. This could potentially harm the leaves. It also could potentially take the soil out of the pot, and you have to put it back in, and then it goes out and you have to put it. This is extreme stress for the plant. So make sure that it's standing somewhere where it doesn't get knocked down that often at least. Now the second thing is, if you have a lot of wind always moving through the leaves, and you can see that the leaves are moving like this all day long, what actually happens is that a lot of the moisture in the leaves is getting pulled out by that wind. This means that the plant will start to drink more water, and it's not to grow, it's actually just to regulate the temperature and regulate that loss of water from the leaves. This is a stress, and it's going to show you by something we call mechanical damage, meaning that the tips of the leaves or the edges of the leaves are going to start to turn brown, and like that dry brown variety that just falls off when you touch it. If you see this on your plant, make sure that it doesn't get that much wind. Move it somewhere where it's a little bit protected from the wind. Another thing is that the wind can actually affect the temperature. For instance, we said before that we don't want our plants to be outdoors if it's not above 15 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. But know that if you are at that limit and it's also windy, the temperature is actually lower. So that could potentially harm your plants. Number 5 is a potential repot. Not all plants need to be repotted before placing outside, but as we said before, when you're doing this, you're actually going to help the plant to become healthier, and it's going to start to grow faster. And if it doesn't have the soil for that growth, it could potentially harm the plant. What I mean by that is that For instance, this plant here, you can see that it's not feeling well. And the reason it's not feeling well is that it's becoming root bound. It actually has a lot of roots coming out from the bottom of the pot. And this is one way of knowing that it's starting to become root bound. Another way is to take a look at the soil itself. It's actually quite hard. I mean, this is like concrete, meaning that when we water this, most of the water is just going straight through. It's not getting absorbed by the soil. The soil is not good anymore. If I were to place this plant outside and it tries to grow, it can't because the soil is bad. So take a look at the soil of the plant you are going to be placing outside. If you see that it's either root bound or that the soil is not good anymore, do a repot before moving it outside so that you know that when it starts to get healthy, when it starts to grow, it has water and nutrients from that good soil that can help that plant to thrive. So now we've had 5 different considerations before moving our plants outdoors. So what is the perfect placement for our plants outdoors? Well, it depends on where you live and what options you have, of course. But make sure to look at these 5 considerations, meaning temperature, light, rain, wind, and a potential repot. And then place your plants where it's optimal, where you live. Now, it could potentially be underneath a tree or a bigger shrub, for instance, where it doesn't get a lot of rain, wind, or direct sunlight, for instance. It could also be under a covered patio or awning, or perhaps a pergola. It could also be next to a wall or a fence, or perhaps a hedge. Just try and find a location where you can place your plants that have these 5 considerations in mind. So now it's time to take care of our plants that we have placed outdoors. There are a couple of things that we need to consider here as well that could be a little bit different from indoors. First of all is, of course, watering. And that is depending on if your plant is getting hit by the rain or not. But know that when you place your plant outdoors, it will, like we said before, get quite a lot more light and perhaps some rain, but make sure to check the soil often to see if it's moist or dry. It could be that it dries up quicker because of all of that light and because of it starting to grow faster. So it might be that you need to increase the frequency with how often you water. It could also be that you're not watering it as often if it's hit by the rain. But make sure to check the soil to see when it's time to water again. Number 2 is to add fertilizer when you're watering your plants. As we said, because it's healthier and because it's starting to grow a lot quicker and more, we need all of the different processes within the plant to function perfectly. That is where a fertilizer comes in. It's not the food for the plant. We say that quite often on this channel. The food for the plant is actually light, water, and carbon dioxide, and then it creates sugars and starches, which is the food for the plant. But by adding fertilizer when you water your plant, you're helping different processes within the plant to function and be on its peak to make sure that that growth can actually take place. Just make sure that no matter what type of fertilizer you use, follow the instructions for that label to make sure that you're not giving too much fertilizer or perhaps not enough fertilizer. So when we're taking care of our plants outdoors, know that when we place them outside, we are exposing them to pests. We have quite a lot more pests outdoors than we have indoors. So every time we water, every time we walk past them, just check to see if there are any pests on them. If you see pests, then take care of that. It could, for instance, be with soapy water. It could be with a pesticide. Could also be that you just move them a little bit more outdoors to get that rain. It can help with the pests, but make sure that you take care of the pests. And also take a look, because there are quite a lot of bigger creepy crawlers like spiders outdoors. And if you see them, you can remove them as well. However, where you live, there might be dangerous spiders, for instance, so be careful. So when you've had your plants outdoors all of summer and those temperatures are starting to go down, it's time to move them indoors again. First thing you need to check is, of course, pests. This is our recommendation, that a couple of weeks before you move your plants indoors, you start to check the plant for pests. Start by checking for larger creatures like, for instance, spiders or other creepy crawlers. Make sure that they're not harmful for you, but remove them if you can find them. Also, start by spraying your plants with soapy water. Now, we usually use a mix of green soap for approximately half a deciliter for 1 liter of water, and then you just spray the plant. But when you spray the plant, you don't just spray or mist the plant. You actually spray the plant and make sure that you get that soapy water everywhere. You need to get them on top of the leaves. You need to get that soapy water underneath the leaves. You also need to get it into those small cavities where the pests usually hide. It can be in the nodes where the leaf meets the stem, for instance. It can also be down by the soil here. So make sure that you get that soapy water everywhere. 1 or 2 weeks before you start adding soapy water, perhaps every other day. Then, when it's time to move the plant indoors, the first thing you do is that you wipe off the leaves with a moist towel of some sort. It could be a microfiber cloth used for cleaning, for instance. Make sure that it's wet or moist, and then you wipe off the leaves. And again, on top, on the bottom, make sure you get everywhere. Then you place it indoors. And when you've done that, you add soapy water a final time. So that if you haven't removed all of the pests, you have another treatment indoors. So when we move our plant indoors, know that the light is different, the temperature is different, the humidity is different, and this can be a stress for the plant. So what we do is to try and make sure that it gets acclimated to the indoors again. Meaning, no matter where you actually want your indoor plants inside, you place it somewhere where it gets a lot of indirect sunlight. And then you place it there for a couple of weeks, 1 or 2 weeks, and then you move it to where you actually want it to be. Let's say the original placement before you even moved it outside. So we want the plant to acclimate to the indoors just as we try to acclimate it for the outdoors. And last of all, of course, the watering of your plant. When you move it indoors, it will probably not drink as much water as it did outside, even if you place it in a lot of indirect sunlight. So the frequency of which how often you water need to be changed again. And as I always say, check the soil, because the soil is showing you when the plant needs water. Just use your finger, push it down into the soil to make sure if it's wet, moist, or dry. And depending on what type of a plant you have, make sure to water when it needs water. So that's it. That is our recommendations for moving your plants outdoors in spring or summertime. Now, let us know, are you doing this? Have you moved your plants outside? Has it worked for you? Do you agree that they are healthier and growing faster? Let us know in the comments below. Now, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps our channel a lot. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do. Hit the bell as well so you get a notification every time we put up something new. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram where you can get sneak previews on upcoming videos and sometimes a little bit more. Now, until next time, hej då!